So, I wanted to make a video about voice acting because I don't think I've talked about it that much, to be honest. I think I've talked a little bit about it, but yeah, I've been taking voice acting classes, and I just want to talk about the things I've learned about this industry. And yeah, that's it. Um, so one of the main things I want to express is when it comes to voice acting, you usually think of, well, a lot of people think of animation and cartoons. That is the most well known thing that people think about when it comes to voiceover. And beyond that, there are also commercials, narration work, and promos, and also dubbing. Yes, dubbing. That was what I forgot. Okay. Um, and the thing I've learned about this industry in particular is that it's probably the hardest one to start off if you do acting. The reason why I say that is because a lot of these jobs, specifically when it comes to voiceover, is yes, you can do them remotely, but um you don't really have a lot of time to prepare for these two kinds of jobs. You kind of have to just be ready for them when they come to you. Um, and you can't really practice a lot. So it kind of requires you to have some knowledge and experience beforehand. You can still do these jobs. There are some great people who are just really good at these jobs. Um, but for a lot of people, I think you need some experience and knowledge in acting before you get into this type of work. Doesn't mean you shouldn't try at all, though. Um, and when I say this, it's mainly because in theater and in film and television, you get a lot of time with your coworkers to, well, not a lot of time, but you get time to actually practice scenes together with them. And you can feel that connection with actors. Whereas this, you don't feel that connection at all. You really have to imagine that or imagine certain experiences, which some people do, some people don't. Some people can just imagine it. Um, but it has to be to the point where it feels real, at least for like cartoons and animation. Commercials. Commercials are interesting. So there's a whole bunch of different types of commercials out there, and each commercial has an audience that it wants to sell its product or service or whatever. And it's very interesting. Commercials are usually, um, these 15 seconds worth of dialogue, or not necessarily dialogue, but just lines, um, or 30 seconds that you kind of just, like I said before, you need to understand what is the purpose of these lines and dialogue and who is this directed to, really. And it really just comes down to that. It also comes down to um, what company you're working for, but yeah. And narration work is interesting. Narration work, you'll usually see a lot of narration work in audiobooks. or documentaries like on wildlife or things like that. But the thing about narration is that you have to it's a very hard one because you need a lot of stamina and you can make a lot of mistakes when you do something like that because a book is so much longer than a script, and that is it's a very difficult thing to do without making a lot of mistakes, and it's just very time consuming. um promos are kind of like commercials, but they are specifically for television or shows or movies that you'll see. You usually see them. They're more common in the U.S., but you'll see them around. They're like these narration or announcer like ads for like television or movies. You'll know what I'm talking about if you've seen them. But yeah, that's that. And dubbing is just it's essentially recording lines of audio over real life footage or a cartoon that has already been made. That is the difference between dubbing and doing regular animations because usually you get to like voice the lines before the animation is even made. But in dubbing, that's kind of what you do after. You can also do dubbing for um, different languages. That's a common thing. So it'll be either for animation or recording. And yeah. I'm trying to think of anything I've learned that covers the biggest things I wanted to talk about this. But yeah. See ya.